There we go. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Blockchain Talks. In today's episode, I shall naturally start by doing a little market analysis to keep you guys updated, to keep you in check. It is also something which ties in with the subject of this day, meaning we are going to talk a little bit about the market state. And a lot of influencers and people have been calling for an alt season and have been calling for a new bull run. It has been renewed. People making claims of new all-time highs being inbound for Bitcoin and for the entire crypto market. We're going to serve you a little dose of realism here. Anyway, let us begin by doing a little analysis here. CoinGecko I'm using. As you can see, markets are turning into the green. Very good news. It means our assets, our digital assets, are appreciating. Bitcoin naturally is leading at the forefront, highest gains. It is rallying. As you can see in the last 24 hours, little dip here, we were at around 41K levels. Early this morning here at Brussels time, we reached highs of 43Ks. Crashed down a little. Now we are back up, going near that 43K level. As always, I say start zooming out. You might see on the weekly, hey, we are bullish once again. Great news, great news. But as you can tell, the second you start zooming out, other patterns start to emerge. You can see here we have been on these kind of levels before, 42K. Huge resistance level, rejected. Now we are above it, trading slightly above it. Let's zoom out on the monthly. And we see an entirely new scheme popping up. One that might be actually important. Here, February, we're near the 40K range. We went back above, sometimes hitting 44K. High resistance level at 45, we crashed down, sideways trading. Now we are back at higher highs. What do I want to show with this chart? We are still inbound range trading. You might say there's a little bit of bullish sentiment here going on at the average on the 90-day. I'm going to mainly focus here since the beginning of January, approximately here, that we have been in a sideways market. You can see 42K levels. It isn't something new in the last 3 months. We have been hitting it a few times, and each time went back down, probably pushed a little lower low at the 35K levels, veered back up, etc., etc. Which implies we are still in a sideways trading market, and this is something which shouldn't surprise you guys. My reason, everything comes down to market cycles, everything comes down to Bitcoin bullish cycles. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Let's hit straight here towards a few influencers and shoutouts. So that Martini guy, YouTube, Altseasons is trending. Little response, Bitcoin goes up to a higher trading range. Bull run resumes. No, yay, it's finally Altseason. Neither is that the case. Only need to take a look at CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap to see the wishful thinking going on, which is not an opinion or a fact. Stated with a screenshot made earlier today, and as you can see, Bitcoin's up, but so is anything else, with exception of the stable coins like Binance USD here, USD coin, Tether, all remaining quite neutral. As you can tell, this is the movement Bitcoin made, and you can see an exact copy paste with all other projects. Now, this is a screenshot. You guys might say, yeah, but I can't see the date. Well, life for you guys. This is a trading view currently, and as you can tell, 7 days upwards, 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 upwards. All the while, the same trends at average. I can see here with Terra Luna. There's a little deviation here, but is following the market, also turning in green. Bitcoin, Ethereum, same movement. BNB, same movement. XRP, same movement. Cardano, Solana, Avalanche more or less. Polkadot making the same move. Dogecoin making the same move. Shiba Inu making the same move, Rub Bitcoin, etc., etc. So alt season, not all too likely. Debunked. Close this one now. Are you ready for another alt season? This is trader Gibbon making the very same claim. This time trying to say, look, Bitcoin is performing bad. There's a downside motion here. Let's zoom in. Market cap BTC Dominance. Its domination is going down. It implies that a new alt season is going to break through, drawing some nice lines. But as said here, Bitcoin dominance still is at 40%, still major dominance, and everything is still following Bitcoin. So debunked, it's BS. Altseasons is going to be insane. I'm here for it. He's shilling it, not without any evidence, but since he's a verified person, a lot of people will try following his words and thinking, yeah, it's going to be alt season very, very soon. I'm going to say not really the case. Bitcoin is dominant. The market is going to trade sideways, as said here when I started zooming out, when I did the analysis. You can see here, this is sideways trading for the last 3 months. So alt season going to be insane? Not very likely. As a matter of fact, what I think about alt season is that we already had it. We had a little season where Bitcoin reached an all-time high, crashed down, and that a variety of coins and tokens actually did quite well. It was in between the period August to November, up until Bitcoin did a last rally, I'm going to say, reached a new all-time high, and since then crashed down November, December, and we've been trading sideways ever since. So I'm not expecting an alt season anytime soon. I even dare to state that alt season now is wishful thinking for a lot of beginning investors. By reason they jumped onto the hype in November, where suddenly a lot of coins following the Bitcoin dominance performed quite well, bought in high, everything crashed down, and they were now hoping, yeah, it's going to be the next trip of the cycle. We are going to enter an alt season. We will be seeing profits. Bad news, guys. That's not how the crypto market cycles work. So alt season already paused, in my opinion. You guys are late. You will need to wait until the next bullish cycle of Bitcoin, which is, well, coincides with its halving 2024, 2025. That's the harsh truth, guys. Butcher here. Scenario I want to see: reclaim 45k, few weeks of consolidation to create an inverse head, shoulders, mini alt season, pump to 58k, all-time high Bitcoin. I call it wishful thinking. I can't even see here he's been doing, so a little bullish, but probably seeing a little repeat of this one here, where it crashes down again and we continue side trading. Now, this might actually be, well, it's a theoretical scenario, but I wouldn't mind to see it occur. What this guy Butcher is pointing at, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, those are theoretical trading patterns you might see, like Bart Simpson as drawn here, which is a time of volatility, higher highs, lower lows, higher high, etc., etc. But these are all theoretical patterns. They do not necessarily play out that well. So in any case, this is pure speculation. This isn't even financial advice. This is speculation. So do not heed to it. I would love to see such a scenario, but I doubt it will come to pass. More on that later. Bitcoin dominance is suggesting alt season, so they are looking at a Bitcoin domination. Sure, it is one of the pointers for an alt season. However, one of the secondary pointers for an alt season is not only the waning dominance of Bitcoin, but also the increasing importance of various altcoins. And the cycle is actually quite easy. You've got Bitcoin during the bullish cycle accumulating all the money in the cryptocurrency market, and the alt seasons, more alt coins more or less following or even losing a little bit of their market cap. Then you have Ethereum, the biggest the biggest altcoin to date, gaining traction as Bitcoin starts to lose. And then suddenly you have a flush through of money through the other projects. And as you guys can tell, this isn't actually happening at the moment. We see Bitcoin rallying, okay, but the altcoins do as well. And I do not see a slowing down of Bitcoin here compared to Ethereum where it concerns its value. Both are working in tandem here. So you might say, oh, that's a bullish signal. But as mentioned, when you start zooming out, we are still sideways trading. We are just trading within range on the long term. So it really doesn't add up here. So in my opinion, these are hopium calls. People are hoping for either an alt season or, well, Bitcoin renewed bullish cycle. Neither of that I see happening. We are now currently in a state whereby, well, we're trading sideways and value is being decided on what occurs on world level, on financial level, the war in Ukraine, adaptation and adoption of Bitcoin as a legal tender. This will give value increases of Bitcoin and Ethereum and the entire crypto market on the long term, but they aren't real pointers to say we are back into a bullish cycle. No, those are, well, pointers which will adjust the trading ranges, but not, how do I put it here? But not really indicate a new bullish run or do not indicate a real new alt season. It is hopium, is hopeful and wishful thinking. Alt season is upon us, my friends, cryptocurrency news. So this guy here doesn't seem to very much know what an alt season really entails. If Bitcoin is making this move, it isn't really an alt season. It implies Bitcoin is gaining in dominance and and the rest of the market is following. So it isn't really an alt season. So it tries to be trending. So bullshit in my opinion. Same here, that one we saw already. Close it once again. Alt season trending. This is a meme I've chosen because it is quite correct. It are the people, well, living on hopium, crying for the bad investments they made. So there's nothing else really to it. And why do I say we are currently going to trade sideways for the time being, for even a longer period of time? Well, for that, I'm going to refer to the blog posts I made on my own official website. Written here, Bitcoin and Crypto Market Insights. In this article, I'm going to talk about bullish and Bitcoin cycles. So, start off with, to understand Bitcoin and all of its fundamental movements is to understand how people behave, the organic aspect, so the calls for an alt season, calls for dominance, for a bull run, but it also implies, well, habits, summer vacations, winter vacations, public holidays, etc., etc. It also implies knowing who the kind of people are who are invested into Bitcoin. And up until a few years ago, I could say and put my watch on it and say, look, now it's July, summer is knocking at our doors, meaning a lot of students, well, wouldn't be studying. They are taking their vacations, meaning these are the kind of people who ruled the Bitcoin and crypto market for quite a long time. They started mining, they started buying additional Bitcoin, etc., etc. Why? Well, not all of them had the money to go on distant travel. Not all of them had the money to visit a variety of cities or to travel in general. But they had money spare they wanted to invest, and that went straight into Bitcoin. So that's an organic aspect not often talked about, but I talk about it in my Ultimate Crypto Guide. In the first book, Binary Gold Crypto, there's a little article I've written, which pertains to the Ultimate Crypto Guide, about these organic movements to understand the market. But naturally, world events make part of those organic aspects. How markets work? Yeah, naturally, supply and demand, very easily put. What scarcity is and the shocks related to it. This falls back towards how people behave and how markets work. Bitcoin is a commodity which is scarce and rare. There's only going to be 21 million ever to be produced. The more adoption there is of Bitcoin on world scale, the scarcer it will become. A reason a lot more people will be withdrawing Bitcoin into private wallets. Less will be circulating on a variety of exchanges. That is scarcity. And the scarcer something becomes, well, the more valuable it becomes. And hence, we get shocks, supply shocks. People are, well, that the demand for Bitcoin hasn't waned one bit, might have increased over time, but that there's not enough Bitcoin going around for everyone to buy in. Then you get a supply shock, which pushes the value of Bitcoin upwards. And what cycles are, which we'll be digging in deeper right now. First 3 points can be deduced by keeping pulse on the latest news. The economy, just open up Crypto Potato, CoinDesk, and other crypto-related news sites. Economy goes bad, everything goes bad. With that, I mean it is tied to the traditional financial markets. For that, I refer towards the crash which occurred in March 2020, which was during pre-halving season of Bitcoin, which had its latest halving in May 2020. Due to COVID, world was in lockdown, financial markets crashed as a result. So did the crypto market. And so I said, economy goes bad, everything goes bad. Currently, BTC has many derivatives, futures, and ETFs for trading. This is thanks to a lot of big banks, central institutions, having started to invest in the cryptocurrency market, having big holdings, think in terms Tesla, MicroStrategy, PayPal, and others. Well, these guys naturally hold Bitcoin, but as you guys know, a lot of ETFs are being launched, and it goes about speculation. So not the holding the actual coin, but it is about having proof of ownership of Bitcoin being held on a third-party platform. Think Robinhood. You're not trading with real cryptocurrency there, you're trading with derivatives. And with that, a lot of speculation is being done by no coiners, meaning people are actively betting for or against the future value of Bitcoin and a variety of other cryptocurrencies. This in turn means that the third-party platforms buy in Bitcoin and those other cryptocurrencies, hold them in their wallets, and depending on how it moves, we'll need to sell those Bitcoin or buy additional ones, depending on how the bets are being made. Why do I say no coiners? Well, the coins themselves are being held by the third-party platform, but the traders and speculators themselves do not hold it. They are just making bets. It's really betting that they are doing. And due to this, they can leverage the market, which is actually a downside. So it is important what the global economy is doing. With this, it is implied that printing dollars has an effect on the BTC value, meaning the more money is being printed with which you buy Bitcoin, well, the higher valued it becomes. Not by reason that BTC suddenly is gaining importance. The main reason is the dollars you are buying it with become more worthless. So if you express the value of Bitcoin into dollars, well, it isn't that Bitcoin is becoming more valuable, it's your dollars becoming worthless. It's inflation. Trade wars have an effect on BTC, meaning Bitcoin, and that's something the Russian-Ukraine conflict has made clear, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency can be used as an asset by which you can become untouchable and that sanctions can actually be evaded. The trade wars do have an effect on Bitcoin, generally in the positive sense that Bitcoin will rise in value by reason, well, the other assets are being blocked and there's more demand for Bitcoin as a result of the trade wars. Tensions and war have an effect on BTC related towards the trade wars. Mainstream adoption have an effect on BTC. For that I refer scarcity, rarity, supply, and demand. Quite simple. Pandemic, fake or real, has an effect on Bitcoin. I refer back to what I said earlier about the COVID event which occurred 2020 with the lockdown and how the markets behaved. Take a look at its history in cycles. So Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency market works in cycles. This is the main meat, the most important part you guys need to remember. These cycles are initiated by events concerning supply on the most important and dominant coins in crypto markets, currently mainly being Bitcoin. The most major events, or major ones, being Bitcoin halvings. Reason, with a halving, the mining rewards of mining Bitcoin are being halved. Currently, with each block mined every 10 minutes, 6.25, no, yeah, was it? Yeah, it's 6.25 Bitcoins are being launched on the market every 10 minutes. Before the halving, we're at 12.5 Bitcoins per block, which means supply that is available is being halved. That's a very drastic event, and that makes Bitcoin more rare and scarce. Now, you need to know, I talked about a 2024 and 2025 halving cycle. At that point, will that 6.25 halving reward be halved once again towards 3.1. Now I need to make sure I'm not making mistakes here. 125 approximately. So once again, the supply is being lessened once again. And this occurs every 4 years up until all 21 million coins are being mined. So with that, you've got a deflationary coin which will increase in value. So we say that the Bitcoin halving event is a major event. It is. And with that cycling and how Bitcoin is set up, we can actually see with each halving what occurs on the market. I said here, observational trends from previous halving events indicate how the macro market will play out. Following pictures describe the observations made during previous halvings. So, previous halving of 2012. At first, the halving had no noticeable effect on Bitcoin's price. Okay, keep that in mind. Beginning 2013, coin's value began to steadily grow, and in April it gave way to a correction and continued again in autumn 2013, ending above 1,100 US dollars. Was followed by prolonged fall in prices, which went from 152 on finally October, 9 months after halving, steady growth began once again. So, little description here. What do we need to know? At first, the halving had no noticeable effect on Bitcoin's price. Steadily grow. Little correction. Continued again later on. Prolonged fall in prices. Went down, and finally, 9 months before the next halving, steady growth began again. So, what do we need to remember here? Pre-halving for 2016, I'm going to pull the curtain a little bit. Steady growth will occur up until the halving itself. Then, little correction, no noticeable effect, and suddenly, when supply shock hits, the value will begin to grow. Up until a certain level, then it crashes down again, corrections as mentioned here. Then a new rally up to a new all-time high, and then a prolonged fall in prices, and then, well, this implies sideways trading. A few months before the halving, which is pre-halving rallying. Do we see for the Bitcoin halving of 2016? Highly anticipated. Renowned acceptance led to a noticeable price increase that began at the end of May of 2016. Halving took place on 9th of July, so that's a pre-halving rally that occurs, as mentioned before, for 2012. 1 hour before the rally. However, correction took place in mid-June, and soon after the halving itself, the price fell again with its local minimum reaching May levels. Meaning, it's a little hype, little high, crash down, correction, same as which occurred here. Then sideways trading, up until a few months later, started to increase. Short-term correction, bullish trend soon continued and developed into exponential growth. Growth peaked on 7 December 2017 when the price reached its all-time high of $19,700. Meaning all-time high, crashes down, and they say a long bearish trend set in. Same as mentioned 2012. In here, they talk a little bit more about the ICO bubble. So with each bullish cycle and with each halving and adoption and events that occurred during those years, new things naturally influence the crypto market itself. But you can see with the previous two halvings, we can see a common theme. Pre-halving, nothing noticeable, or small rally up until the date of the halving, little correction, sideways trading. Few months later, when the supply shock really hits the markets, we see a rallying up to new all-time high levels. And then depending on the market state, might see a crash, little correction, back up again, correction, and then sideways trading up until the next halving cycle. The next halving cycle was 2022. And here they say did not cause an immediate price increase. It's true that growth began on earlier halving dates at the beginning of the year, but coronavirus crisis that started in March caused Bitcoin's price to collapse, meaning there was a rally going on, but due to world events, it wasn't as noticeable, meaning the pre-halving cycle still stands. Continue. This makes it more difficult to assess how much halving is already factored into the price. At the same time, yada yada yada, Bitcoin being mined. So they are talking about supply shock from 2017 to 2018. Price of Bitcoin will be much more in the multi reduction in supply. Okay. Here they do not give more details, but as you can tell, because of course I'm going to show it live here. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. 2019 will give me a nice answer. But as you can see here, little rally, sideways trading, and there was some bullish sentiment. If I zoom in a little bit, where am I? Rally. Come on. There we go. Perhaps I need to take it a little bit further. There we go. So corrections, January 19, sideways trading, lower levels. Stop working on my nerves. There we go. So sideways trading, little crash. Sideways trading still, as you can see here with the tops. Perhaps zoom out a little bit more. There we go. Sideways trading. And then you see a little rally here that began early in the year, February. And suddenly, Corona hit. Bam! Markets went down, but recovered quite fast. Continued sideways trading. From then on, May, it occurred. Sideways trading, nothing really happening. June, July, bam, first rally, nothing much. And then suddenly, September, October, we started the real bullish cycle. And then we had this, which occurred. And do remember what I said? A rally, first rally, correction, and a rally. New all-time high, correction, and now we are at a stage of sideways trading. Meaning the cycle is completed now. And this is what the main issue is about, and what I've been trying to show with the tweets. Everything concerning we are at a renewed bullish cycle, we are at a new alt season, is quite frankly BS. I've just proven to you guys how cycles work and what kind of cycle we've just passed, where we are in the stage of the Bitcoin market cycle. We are trading sideways. And the only kind of prediction I dare to do here, especially if I start zooming out here, is to say, look, there's quite some volatility going on here, but even that will, in the end, level out. The reason there's still quite a lot of volatility here in between weeks, ranging from between 40K up until 43, 45K perhaps, but these will smoothen out eventually. It will smoothen out at around a certain level, and I wouldn't be surprised it will smoothen out at around 40K levels. Perhaps higher, perhaps lower. Now everything depends on world events. How will the Russian-Ukraine war influence Bitcoin prices? How will other financial agreements, how will other financial events, world events even, be it a war, be it continued adoption, be it legislation and regulation, influence the cryptocurrency market price? And those are things I do not have, well, a glass orb to watch into the future. But I can say with 100% confidence, this sideways trading is natural to the cycle we are currently in. So the moment you see someone proclaiming we are still in a bull run, continued bull run, we will be hitting 100K in 2022, take it from me, the guy is full of shit. Plain and simple as that. The people yelling for an alt season are also full of shit. Matter of fact, they rely mainly on opium. Reason, the alt season has already passed. How do I know it's passed? Well, quite frankly, one of the pointers for an alt season, to me, is the importance and the launch of a variety of new coins and tokens on the market. And believe me, September, October, November, December last year, we were a plenty of newly launched tokens and coins being shilled everywhere. Most of them being dead right now. Alt season has come to pass. We are sideways trading. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to finish this live stream. Hope you guys found this interesting. If you liked these kind of live streams, do like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my socials, etc., etc. If you want to help support the channel, down below are a variety of links to courses I've written. Also a little link towards my Ultimate Crypto Guide course, when I teach you guys all fundamentals about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, market, how to trade, NFTs, etc., etc. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time.